Next movie. Let's see. Let's go with Let the Right One In. Okay, Let the Right One In. What can I say about this movie? Well, first off, I actually don't really. I actually noticed a kind of pattern in vampire movies recently. They're no longer blood-sucking like creatures of the night anymore, thanks to Stephenie Meyer. They're they're now like pretty creatures who like reach out to the teen crowd, and they're only there for like to please the teen crowd. And seeing you know I don't really have that much to say about the new generation vampires, other than like I don't like the direction they went. But seeing a movie that's fairly recent, and they went for the like a traditional type of vampire story, it actually was pretty. It actually seemed pretty refreshing at the time, actually, when I watched it, because I was sick and tired of seeing the Twilight type of vampire. Now, speaking of the Twilight, the movie itself, I heard it was like one of the best, greatest vampire movies of all time. In fact, it said on the cover, best vampire movie ever. And I watched it, and it's not the best movie ever, but as a vampire movie, it's actually hard to tell if it is the best one ever, because you have to consider like The Lost Boys and um a whole bunch of other movies. But it is a pretty good vampire movie. And what really makes it stand out is that of its atmosphere. Like, this movie is just atmosphere. It's more on the line of a really intense art house film. And I hate using the term art house film because I use it all the time, but Let the Right One In is very artsy. Like, most of the time you see screenshots of the snow, and it's kind of ominous because you know that the girl is there. Well, actually, I can't really call her a girl, can I? Because there's a scene, I won't spoil it, but there's a scene that makes you wonder if this is a girl vampire or a boy vampire. And I think there are two scenes, actually. Uh, I'm not gonna spoil what they are. But Let the Right One In, it's, besides atmosphere, you know, it also, it tries to work on an angle where it takes the story of like a kid who's being bullied who makes friends with someone bigger. Well, not necessarily bigger, which is kind of ironic, but it's this. It takes the traditional story of a bully who tries to find someone bigger to fight his battles, but this bigger person teaches this person to fight his own battles. Like, it takes that kind of story, but instead of a bigger person, it's a vampire, and it does it really well, actually. Like, the two characters whose two different plot lines, like when they collide, like it. How am I trying to explain this? Like, the movie actually has two different storylines going on: the vampire's story and the little boy's story, and they feed off each other because like they parallel each other. Whereas like the girl vampire or boy vampire, whatever, she's she feels isolated because she's a vampire. The boy feels isolated because he's being bullied at his school, and they really do parallel each other. And I really can't spoil anything in this movie because I don't want to spoil anything, but it all leads up down to the point to a climax where eventually one of them has to stand up for themselves, and the other has to, well, one of them has to stand up for themselves finally, because that's what this movie is. Like, the boy's trying to teach the girl vampire how to, what am I trying to get? He's trying to teach her how to